Yeah, buddy. Lightweight.
Between how competitive and how difficult bodybuilding can be, rarely do we see people come in and absolutely crush the rest of the competition. To this day, only a handful of bodybuilders can say that they've worked their way through the ranks and competed on the Mr. Olympia stage, and even fewer can say that they've actually won. Crazily enough, there are 2 bodybuilders that have won 8 times, and they're tied for the most Mr. Olympia's won ever. Lee Haney is the first, but commonly gets overshadowed by the dominance and popularity of the bodybuilder we'll be talking about today, with his infectious sayings that still get said to this day too, an absolutely insane physique, Ronnie Coleman. Often regarded as the overall best bodybuilder of all time, Ronnie Coleman has been a staple of the community for as long as he's been in the scene, starting with powerlifting then transitioning over to bodybuilding. Many people know that he's strong, but today we'll be finding out just how strong Ronnie Coleman was actually. We'll be going over his conventional lifts compared to what would be considered strong in the fitness community, and also some notable lifts that often go overlooked. Remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to leave a comment on who I should do next. Now, to put into perspective a couple of things, I made a stat sheet so that you can have an idea of his frame and what he was working with while he was bodybuilding. This stat sheet and formula I'll be using on my future videos. Anything in white is just a stat, and anything in yellow is a variable worth pointing out. I'm hoping this will help the people who don't really know the nuances of bodybuilding get a better understanding of certain things. At his best, Ronnie Coleman's measurements were insane to say the least. And it's worth noting that he had a myostatin deficiency, means that he was able to put on significantly more muscle and have lower body fat levels than the average person. He was extremely gifted genetically, so much so that he looked like a top level bodybuilder even as a natural, and because he powerlifted before actually bodybuilding, he has insane amounts of strength that transferred over when he actually did start bodybuilding. Before we get into his actual lifts, I have to quickly go over what is considered strong in the fitness community. While any bodybuilder can hit these baselines with ease, actual bodybuilders are a very tiny part of the fitness community as a whole and don't reflect the majority of people who work out. With that being said, while there isn't a set golden standard for strength, it's generally believed and agreed upon that you're strong in the fitness community if you can hit a 2-plate bench press, 3-plate squat, and floor plate deadlift. With that being said, we'll start with Ronnie's bench press first. A 2-plate bench press is 225 pounds and is a huge goal posed for a lot of lifters in the fitness community due to needing to be able to push that weight vertically with your chest, triceps, and delts simultaneously. It's estimated that around less than 1% of the global population can bench 225 pounds, and Ronnie was able to bench double that, achieving a 500-pound bench press for multiple repetitions. Ronnie's next lift is one of his most famous ones, his 800-pound squat. With proper training and dedication, some people may be able to hit a 3-plate squat, which is the equivalent of 315 pounds, but a large majority of people hardly ever aim or get past that. Ronnie aimed much higher. This was his first attempt ever and also his personal best. He went into this lift wearing a squat suit, something he's never worn before, and this was a variable that helped him with the squat, but also ironically made him overestimated as well. If you never squatted before, you load the bar on your back and squat down until your thighs are below parallel or the hip crease past the knee joint. When you go down on the squat, the lift is easier. When you come up, the lift is significantly harder. So to assist with the lift, a squat suit was used. He geared up for the lift and went right for it and got 2 reps. Later, he spoke about it, saying that it was easier than he expected and he knew he could have gotten at least 3 to 4 more.
The first rep I did was light, like super light. I'm like, oh dang, this is real light. I'm gonna get another one, I'm going deeper. And that's exactly what I did. And then I put it up because I had in my mind 2 reps. And as soon as I put it up, I like, damn, I could have got at least 3 or 4 more, but it was too late.
This likely will never be replicated or seen again in the bodybuilding community due to how much strength it required, and stands out as one of his most impressive displays ever to be seen by a bodybuilder still to this day. Speaking on 800 pounds, Ronnie Coleman also deadlifted 800 pounds, which is almost double what is considered strong in the fitness community, that being 4 plates equating to 405 pounds. Incredibly impressive in his own right, One thing to note that often goes overlooked is that Ronnie also did this 5 weeks out from Olympia. To put this simply, he was weaker than normal due to cutting back his food to prep for the show. Had he done this again after Olympia, it's essentially a given that he would have lifted significantly more. Now for some lifts that aren't conventional that often get overlooked, we'll start with the mind-blowing 315 pounds overhead press. On top of being one of the more risky and injury-prone exercises, you'll most likely never see anyone overhead pressing anything heavy, let alone with significant amount of weight, due to how difficult it is between the balance required and how much shoulder strength is required. Ronnie Coleman could press 315 pounds for 12 reps. He could press what most people would dream to squat one time over his head 12 times. On the subject of squat, Ronnie could front squat 585 pounds, a movement that requires the strength to squat while simultaneously balancing the bar on your delts, making the squat significantly harder. Because of the flexibility and balance you need for this exercise, you'll likely never see anyone do this exercise, let alone with significant weight. One last lift I'll throw in, because I don't think people realize just how heavy it was Ronnie Coleman leg pressing 2,300 pounds. Just in case you don't know how heavy 2,300 pounds is, that's over a ton, almost the weight of a compact car. Generally, the leg press isn't an impressive lift on its own, but Ronnie Coleman leg pressing that far eclipses anything you'll ever see in your gym, and he did it for 8 reps. With that being said, how strong is Ronnie Coleman actually? Simply put, he's one of the strongest bodybuilders who have ever lived. He also had the bodybuilding body while boasting powerlifting levels of strength, which was so significant. He's respected in both fields and is also one of the defining factors of bodybuilding, shifting from the golden era of bodybuilding, where Arnold was dominating, over to the mass monster era. To this day, there hasn't been a bodybuilder that's been able to replicate the things Ronnie was capable of, and most likely it'll be a very long time, if ever, that there will ever be a dominating force like Ronnie. So thank you guys for watching. Leave in the comments who you'd like to see next. Arnold, the Trent Twins, whoever. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe to the video. Until next time, you guys take care.
I line, y'all the best fans in the whole wide world. And I've been everywhere. Y'all are great. This is a great city. This is a great win. And I thank y'all all from the bottom of my heart for being here and cheering us on. Thank you.